In our business, there are the three main things. It's the payments, licensing, and the traffic. 40 million devices was shipped to the users from the Xiaomi, 35 millions from the Huawei. So these stores are growing. And 3 years ago, when we start our business, nobody knows anything about the alternative stores, and everyone looks for us like what's traffic you provide. With a very good relationship between our company and Xiaomi. We know the representative of these companies. We had a lot of meetings with them, personal meetings in China, in Singapore. 85% of the design that were released to the iOS or Xiaomi created by AI.
Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Unplugged. Today we are talking to Dimitris Rostkov, CEO and founder of Evamobi, a performance marketing agency that's made serious waves in the mobile user acquisition. Evamobi isn't your typical mobile marketing agency. They've become top 3 partner for Xiaomi traffic, Huawei's fastest growing agency, and they've driven over 300,000 first-time deposits in betting verticals alone. But what makes them interesting isn't just the numbers. It's their focus on alternative app stores, OEM partnerships, and high-converting verticals like betting, fintech, and e-com. So whether you're running user acquisition for a mobile app, wondering how to break into alternative traffic sources, or you're in regulated verticals trying to figure out compliant user acquisition at scale, this conversation will give you insights you won't hear anywhere else. So, Dimitris, fantastic to have you on the show. I've honestly been looking forward to having this conversation because Evamobi has been making some serious moves in the mobile performance marketing space, especially in those tricky verticals that most agencies won't touch. So before we dive into all the technical stuff about OEM partnerships and alternative app stores, I'd love our listeners to get to know you a bit better. So let's start with tell us about your journey. You started in banking and payments, worked with microcredit companies, and even managed operations for 150-person team. What drove you to make that leap from traditional banking into the wild world of mobile performance marketing?
Yeah, thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to see you here today. Yeah, it's not in a big, but it's a very interesting experience in my life. So 12 years ago, I started my career in a banking sector, in a payment industry. So in my personal opinion, there is in our business that there are the three main things. It's the payments, licensing, and the traffic. So it's the three main things that on which you decide on which part you want to work. Yeah. So I decide to start my career in a payment industry. I had a lot of companies with a license in many countries, in European countries and LatAm countries, in Africa, in South Asia, for example. And I started with that, but through the years, maybe 3 years ago, I just take a look at about everything that I had in my life, and decide to start on a traffic, because I already know not everything, but many things in a payment industry, and the next step will be a traffic, and I just start this business and start it's with my partner, with whom we're right now cooperating and working worldwide.
Awesome. So building on that, you've become known for mastering traffic from alternative app stores and OEM partnerships. So Xiaomi, Huawei, Tecno, most agencies focus only on Google Play and App Store. So what's really the opportunity in alternative stores that others are missing? Is this just about accessing untapped inventory, or is there something fundamentally different about how users behave on these platforms?
So regarding the alternative stores, it's not only the Xiaomi and Huawei. Of course, there is a few more stores and smartphone developers like Realme, like Oppo, like Tecno. The Xiaomi and Huawei is the most hugest from them. So regarding the statistic, for example, as I remember, on a 2023, 140 million devices was shipped to the users from the Xiaomi. 35 millions from the Huawei. On the 2024, it's 170, so 15 or 17% growing from the Xiaomi and the 45 million devices from the Huawei or something like that. So these stores are growing. And 3 years ago, when we start our business, so nobody, nobody knows anything about the alternative stores, and everyone looks for us like, what's traffic you provide? Alternative stores, Xiaomi, what is it? But right now, this is a very huge competitor from the between the iOS and Android. So they have more valuable players. For example, the traffic from these alternative stores, it's a traffic from the devices that Xiaomi, Huawei develop and ship to the users. In iOS, it's the same, but there is only Apple Search ads, and there is a few problems with the Apple Search ads. For example, to make a long story short, it's a premium. It's a premium traffic with a high quality. Everything is fine, but it's a little bit restrictive. So, from my personal opinion, it's a little bit expensive traffic, of course. I think they have just a little bit limited targeting. And some few problems with attribution, some attribution issues. If we're talking about the OEM traffic, there is a more cheaper traffic. But again, depends from the geo, but depends from the vertical. I can say that every traffic in Xiaomi and Huawei is absolutely cheaper. But if we talk about for example, some popular geos and most, payable advertisers, it's cheaper traffic, and of course the platforms and the traffic is more scalable, more flexible. I think it's more. We have more fast approvals from the representative team. For example, we were with a very good relationship between the Xiaomi and between our company and Xiaomi. We know the representative of these companies. We, had a lot of meetings with them, personal meetings in China, in Singapore. And it's more easier to communicate when you know the person, and when this representative help you with something, to maybe a little bit more faster approve the moderation process, or to explain how to launch the application in the Xiaomi if they don't have an application, if the brand don't have an application in the Xiaomi store, and something like that. So and in my personal opinion, of course, it's a more formats. So it's a I don't know, it's a pre-installs, it's a banners, it's a video, it's a brand formats. You can do anything, and of course, a lot of special formats if you have the core agency status like we are. Xiaomi provides to you a more possibilities to run the traffic on the events. For example, on the Championship League, for example, on the Worldwide Cup, they have a more format that iOS cannot provide it to you, and it's a deal breaker for us. So, and as I mentioned when we started this business 3 years ago, everyone. Nobody can hear about the Xiaomi and Huawei. Right now, this is a must-have tool that every company, every advertisement must have inside the company.
So you also have exclusive placement formats for Xiaomi and Huawei. That's not something most agencies can claim. So, for agencies trying to build similar partnerships like what you've built, what's the real value proposition? Is it just about getting better rates, or are there strategic advantages in terms of targeting and user experience that most people don't understand?
It's not only about the costs. Yeah. So it's about the advertising formats. When, for example, when you open the Xiaomi device and you're interested in a worldwide cap, and so, for example, on the left side you see the notifications when Xiaomi put, for example, on the left side Liverpool, on the right side Manchester, and you see the current match score. So, and of course, when if you're click to this banner, to this advertisement, the Xiaomi provides to you a possibility to, to install the application of the betting partner, or of course only the license history on the license betting. And as such formats, it's like something new in advertising. So in iOS there is no possibility like that. So and again, if you build the relationship not only by email, like in iOS, yeah. Um, of course, it's a different type of cooperation. Of course, it's more possibilities, more advantages that your agency, that your advertising company have.
Interesting. And also, let's talk about your core verticals. Like there's betting, fintech, and ecom.
Yeah.
These are all high LTV and also high complexity markets with strict regulations. So, how do you approach user acquisition differently for betting versus ecom apps? What's your framework for determining which traffic sources work best for each vertical?
Um, it's an interesting question because it's two different, absolutely different types of advertisement.
Right.
So, of course, we have a very good communication with all brands that we have, with the bettings, with the e-commerce, and with if we talk about the betting sector, they have a compliance. Of course, they must comply with the regulations, with the regulations on the country that they have a license. And when we create and when we build some new creatives, of course, we are going to them, ask them everything is okay, or we must add something or remove something. They accept it and come back to us that okay, you can run this advertisement. It's a very main the main thing that of course we as advertising company, we cannot start advertising of the betting or regulated fintech companies without the approval, because of course if we launch something, it will be a questions from the regulator to the company. And after that, from the company to us, why you're running the sets. And of course, I have in my mind a few cases when a company run the ads, and after that, the regulator declined the license. So yeah, it's a very important thing for us, and of course, we're in a very good communication with the compliance. So regarding the differences between the creatives, the first of all, if you talk about the betting, first of all, it's like an trigger quick emotional creatives, yeah, on which you're put the last minute, don't miss out, let's make a bet or something like that, yeah. In the e-commerce, of course, in the betting, it's a little bit more short videos, like 10 or 20 seconds. And depends from the geo, and depends that, according to the regulator requirement, we build these creatives. And if you talk about the e-commerce, it's absolutely different, because on e-commerce, you must show the value, product appeal, what is the best selling, how you can do this, I don't know, in 2 clicks, you can put the advertising on the different type of traffic sources. For example, on the TikTok, something like on packages or something like that. So it's two different types of the products, and of course, we have an experience in all of this. And when we meet a new one advertiser, of course, we understand which creos, which ways will provide to them a more effective and more reachable traffic.
Okay, super interesting. So let's dig a little deeper into the regulatory navigation. So
Okay.
betting advertisers face regulatory and network imposed restrictions that make creative execution feel like navigating a maze at times. Yet you have managed over 100,000 first-time deposits in betting.
Yep.
How do you balance compliance with performance? Do you have different creative strategies for different regulatory environments?
Of course, on each geo with each advertiser that we have, we are working absolutely closer, and it's sometimes it's a little bit not too easy to manage all of this because, of course, which creos have a better performance, but when you send this creo to the advertiser to get an approval. They telling you that no, we can do this, we can do this, we need only this, and change the text, change the video, change everything. It's a little bit difficult to sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do this, but after our years of the experience, right now we know the regulator requirements on the not for all geos, of course, because sometimes we touch on new geos on which we don't understand anything, and we have a lawyers team, we have a compliance team as well, and also I'm the certified IML officer, and this helps us to little bit better understand and more quickly learn how to work in this geo and with this brand. So, and of course, yes, as you mentioned, we have creative strategies on each brand, on each vertical. For example, for the betting vertical, for the fintech vertical, for the e-commerce, as you mentioned, yeah, through all of this. We have different strategies, some templates, and after that, we just take a brand book of the brand, trying to build something new, see the spy services, what our competitors did, and trying to build something new, and after that go to the compliance team, take an approval from them, and start advertising. Yeah.
So that's really insightful, and let's move to another segment.
Okay.
Which reminds me to move to another segment actually: cross-platform budget allocation. So your work with premium in-app networks like Unity and ironSource, social platforms like TikTok and Facebook, plus your OEM partnerships. How do you decide budget allocation across these vastly different traffic sources? Is there a typical split you recommend, or does it depend entirely on the app category and geography?
Very good question. Thank you. So it's three different types of the traffic sources, of course. Unity and Iron Source, Liftoff, also bundled before, and other in-app premium in-app networks. It's not like an OEM, of course, because they put the advertisement to the applications, to the in-app, to the apps, and they taking the traffic from that. OEM taking the traffic only through the smartphones that they have, and inside the smartphone, in different formats, banners, videos, pre-installs, pushes, and other. So it's a second type of format, and the social traffic, like in a TikTok and a Facebook, they're the third, kind of the traffic that you taken from social networks. When we start understanding what type of the traffic sources we must provide on the first step to our new advertiser. Of course, we had a meeting with our buying team, with the designers, with our account team, and after that we see how the similar brand or the similar vertical was with each type of this source of traffic. After that, of course, we decide from which kind of traffic we must start to show to the advertiser a best, a best traffic on the first step, and of course, we usually we start with the not most cheapest, but most effective and most cheap, if I may tell that, most effective and most cheap kind of traffic. We're starting with that, and after that, we just scale it as we have an experience with other brands and with similar verticals. So it's not something new, of course, but the main thing that in these verticals and in these brands, in the traffic sources, you must provide a high value creatives, and this is a more main thing. So if you understand and if you know everything about the OEM, about the social traffic, about the premium enough, you know how it works, you know the formats, you know what is a bit you must put on the first step, on the first week of the advertisement. So like in liftoff, you can't launch the campaign, and on the second day you see the lower CPA and everything is fine, and etc. You must wait 3 or 4 weeks, and this is why we are not showing the liftoff as a first step of the advertisal. So yes, and of course creatives, it's a more main thing that and we have a very maybe it's a platinum award or something like that. It's our awards, or in this year we get it. And this is how we, this is what we are doing on our side. So we take most cheaper and most effective source of traffic. Then we put the brilliant creatives from our side, and we start it out. Yeah.
Okay, and let's move to another a topic that's really trending these days. So that's AI and future trends. So AI is revolutionizing campaign management in 2025. With platforms using performance mode and target CPA to enable affiliates to scale faster and smarter. How is Evamobi using AI in your campaigns? And looking ahead, where do you see the biggest opportunities for mobile user acquisition?
Regarding the AI, yes, we're using it. Of course, we're using it, but not mainly in the traffic. Of course, we analyze the traffic on our side. We compare some Excel files, some statistic from the few brands. We comparing it, and we just see the something like an analytics or between them. But the main AI tool that we're using is not in the traffic. This is in the application development. So on our side, we also develop mobile applications. It's a web view applications, or it's a big applications which we release to the iOS and to the Xiaomi store as well, through which we are providing traffic to the advertiser. And in AI, we're using in this application development, we're using AI as an instrument to, for example, to create a design for this application. So 85% of the design that were released to the iOS or Xiaomi created by AI. 50% of the code that we are, that our front end and back end developers writing, creates by AI as well. So the 50% of the code. So, and we're using AI something like this. Yeah. This, of course, this helps us to decrease our expenses to the staff, because in on our side maybe only 12 or 13 people right now that creating applications, and they launching and release these applications every week. Only these people release these applications every week. So we don't need 25, we don't need 50 people, because they just write in a prompt. Of course, it's not too easy. They just write in a prompt, correct this prompt, correct the result that AI gives to you after this, and start using it. So AI in our company used by developers.
Okay, that's a different take on what kind of an answer I was expecting. I thought maybe it's being used in another way, but that's, I think, much more useful for the users as well, and for your clients, of course.
Yep.
So now, another super interesting question that I had in my mind: which countries do you consider to be the most promising for working with traffic, and why?
Whoa. I can't tell you exactly which country, because depends from the country, depends from the vertical, depends from the representative of the brand, depends from the brand. It depends, of course. But maybe the European countries, maybe LatAm countries. Uh, the Latin countries right now is more, uh, I see the very good, possibility to give them a traffic, because they are on the early stage of the understanding which traffic, provide to them a more quality users, a more lower CPA or lower CPI or best, CR rates and other things. So maybe LatAm is number one. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, Dimitris. Sorry, Dimitris. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Dimitris. Let's wrap up with some rapid fire questions. So, are you ready? Only
Yeah.
answers. So, how would you allocate $50 budget on in betting, OEM partnerships, Facebook, or premium in-app networks? $50,000 budget.
Would you? I can give you a very big brief, a very big brief on which you must first of all answer to me, and then I will tell you why. Then I will tell you which kind of traffic you must have on the first step. Um, if we make a long story short, maybe it's OEM. Second one is a premium app, and third one is a Facebook. But again, it depends from the geo. Yeah. For example, in LatAm, of course, it's Facebook and premium app, and then it's OEM traffic. In Europe, it's a premium app, then LatAm, then OEM, and then Facebook. Again, depends from the geo.
Again, geography and country matters.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, next question, again, quick answers only. Biggest mistake new performance marketers make when entering regulated verticals?
They didn't build a unique creatives, and they didn't approve it to the compliance.
All right. And I was hoping for maybe like not going through the regulations as much as they should have. Maybe some mistakes that
Yeah.
no could be. Okay. And question number 3: iOS or Android for user acquisition in emerging markets?
Again, depends for the geo, depends for the region. But in emerging markets, maybe Android is more effective.
Okay. Now, most overrated mobile marketing tactic that agencies still push.
That agencies still push. They are providing a traffic through the social platforms only, and they don't want to understand that in-app networks, premium in-app networks, and OEM traffic sources is sometimes is a little bit better than a Facebook and a Google only.
Okay, interesting. If you could only track one metric for mobile app success, what would it be?
LTV and CR.
Okay. Complete the sentence. The future of mobile user acquisition is
Brilliant. Yeah.
so brilliant. Yes, I think that was the answer that was
I
needed.
hope for it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sure. So yes, I think that's all from our end, Dimitris. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. It's wonderful having a conversation with you. I had an absolutely gala time. Yes, so that's all. What an incredible conversation with Dimitris Rostkov from Evamobi. We covered everything from alternative app stores to AI-driven optimization and high-value vertical strategies. So, if you're working in mobile user acquisition, especially in regulated industries, I'd love to hear about your experiences with alternative traffic. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode, please rate and review. It helps other mobile marketeers find these conversations. And definitely check out Evamobi if you're looking to scale user acquisition in high value verticals beyond traditional channels. Next week, we'll have another deep conversation about mobile marketing and user acquisition. Until then, keep testing new traffic sources and finding creative ways to reach your target users. Thank you, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.